Speaking of communities making a difference, we'll now head out to see how our citizen scientists are working with scientific professionals and regulatory agencies to help protect horseshoe crab populations.
Let's gather around so that we can get organized. We've got a lot to get done tonight. We're going to try to get out 800 tags, which is quite a feat, but I know we all can do it if we get organized.
Pikes Beach was one of the first sites we chose. It had a very high spawning density of horseshoe crabs. Actually, it's one of the highest spawning densities in New York State, next to Jamaica Bay.
Cornell Cooperative Extension's involvement in the New York State Horseshoe Crab Monitoring Network began over a decade ago. Our resident expert, Dr. Matt Sclofani, and his staff work closely with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to conduct monitoring activities at numerous sites throughout Long Island. They recruit and retain an impressive number of volunteer citizen scientists who collect data and tag horseshoe crabs in efforts to help management and conservation of this species. Gina and Mark Capiello have served as site coordinators here for many years. The ambitious number of tags they are planning on putting out this evening is a testament to the commitment of these citizen scientists. These monitoring events attract a wide variety of participants of various ages and backgrounds. Among the individuals volunteering their time tonight is notable conservationist, professor, and author Dr. Carl Safina. We spoke with him about the need to understand the significance and value local species like horseshoe crabs hold.
Pretty much everywhere in the world, what I see is that where people don't realize how special what they have is. And people don't think that what they have is special because they just think, well, it's here, it must be a common thing.
Yeah.
And where people think that, it usually precedes the decline of whatever it is, because everything is under so much pressure. And one of the hardest things often to do for people and with people is to show them that something that's right in their own backyard is actually a very special thing.
When I first got into this about 10 years ago, first guy that I met was Chris Smith, and he was running the cooperative extension out here, and he's such a great guy, and he reached out to me, and he said something to me that has always sort of stuck with me, and it's if you know something about something, you care about it. And I think that that's what I've seen here is, I have probably 75, 80 volunteers that come out. It's this eclectic group of people that come out because they care about it. And I think that's the citizen scientists, and they get the word out and they bring their friends.
Data collected from the site over the years made it possible for Dr. Matt Sclofani to put out a report recently, which featured several interesting findings. Radio telemetry conducted as part of this study concluded that horseshoe crabs return to the same spawning sites each year, and given the fact that horseshoe crabs have limited access to sandy beaches, they end up being herded into a few specific spots. With much of Moriches Bay being affected by development and hardened shoreline, the sandy stretch of Pikes Beach offers essential spawning grounds. While it's great that Pikes Beach is able to offer preferred spawning conditions, the high concentration of horseshoe crabs this site supports during mating season has made it quite easy for baymen to harvest this species. The taking of horseshoe crabs during their spawn can be detrimental to the overall health of the population, so it was becoming clear that a better balance needed to be struck to both ensure future generations of horseshoe crabs can continue to survive, while allowing for those who make a living on the water to continue to do so.
The trustees manage 26,000 acres of bay bottom, and we're only talking, maybe 2,000 feet of beach. So it's a big bay. There's a lot of areas where they can still harvest. They harvest these crabs for conch bait.
This was revelatory for us. We were kind of like shocked, and that's what has progressed over the next couple of years. So when I read Matt's report, I said, well, we got to do something about this. It just is too important not to know.
Well, thanks to Gina, she came to our meeting and she presented a lot of information. She's been working with our person in the office that is our environmental analyst. She came up with the dates and one of the best dates are. And we passed a resolution closing them on 4-day periods. And it basically goes from Cove Road to the point of the spit, and then back out to the edge of the village.
Okay.
So it's delineated. It's GPS. There'll be buoys set up at some point, and and that's how we manage them.
But as soon as they did this regulation, just in the nights that we've been here, boom, the count's back. Now, not to the levels that we saw in 2008, but at least we're coming down here and we're seeing horseshoe crabs. It's really great. I think the citizen scientists, people being emotionally moved by this, they're not only helpful in the tagging, but they're helpful in getting people to care about the preservation of life in the bay.
What a great example of the importance of citizen science. Keep up the good work, Gina and Mark, and all of our Monitoring Network volunteers. If you want to get involved, check out NewYorkHorseshoeCrab.org.